Hey guys,
Howdy.
what's up and welcome back to the Roomies Digest. My name's Christine.
I'm Mo.
And today we're doing our
December wrap-up.
November wrap-up.
Oh, freak.
What was November, honestly?
It was a blur, and
It was so busy. Why was it the busiest month of the year?
I don't know. I thought I was going to have a chill month, get a bunch of reading done, and the world was like, psych. Don't you know that Thanksgiving is going to take up 3 weeks of the year?
You're a joke!
Yeah. I'm like,
Also, it was our first Thanksgiving, getting back with our friends. We were getting back into the swing of things, I'd say.
Yeah, I did manage to read books, so that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. I also read some books,
Great
contrary to popular belief.
And she wrote a book.
I did. Yeah.
That's a lot. You did more than me.
Bum, bum, da 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 da, bum, bum, da. Is it anywhere, near being finished? No. But is there one draft? Yes.
And that's all you had to do.
Yeah, that's the check-in, I guess. I guess we'll just talk about it for NaNoWriMo. I would say as, a NaNoWriMo participant, I've failed. Because, I did not update my NaNoWriMo at all when I was doing it. I just kind of was, doing my own thing. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily, the avenue that I would do to write a book. But I do like the community and having that support system and all the resources available to you to be able to, actually write a book. But just, I think, personally, for me, I'm more of an independent writing. I don't like to check in with myself and be like, today I've written 50,000 words. Just kidding. If I did that in one day, that'd be crazy. But yeah, because I found that every time I tried to do that, it'd be counterproductive. I'd be like, oh, I've only written 1,000 words. So, anywho, that's the check-in on NaNoWriMo. Let's get into the actual books that we read last month. You want to go ahead and start it off?
Sure. The first book that I read was for the Big 3 Readathon, and it was the one where I had to read a book during an entire sprint. And y'all, this is the perfect book to read during an entire sprint, because when I say I was shocked and appalled, that was it. The book was maybe 90, 100 pages. But it was Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, and I had no idea what I was going into. I thought I did. I thought it was going to be a crazy, true crime tale, but it was crazy. It was crazy, and
because the cover is disgusting. Sorry, I'll say it.
The cover's not that bad. It's very I don't know. When I looked at
her brains are smooshed.
Is that what that is? Brains?
That's what it looks like to me.
I thought it was paint strokes. I gave this book a 5-star because I definitely will never forget this book. This book has been ingrained in my mind, and it's 5 stars because of it. It's 5 stars because of it.
That's crazy.
It was not what I was expecting. I gave it 5 stars. I thought maybe I gave it a 4 because of how appalled I was. But no, I gave it a 5 because it really got me. It really was like, ha ha ha. Anything that really takes me by surprise, I usually give a 5-star. Hence, I'm thinking of ending things. And now, this tale. I do, y'all, please read trigger warnings for a lot of things if you want to read this book. It's very short, but there's a little bit of animal cruelty.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I read.
All right, so the book that I read for the Big 3 Readathon was Vengeful. I also doubled up and read this for the Fantasy Series Book Club Pick, which is the fantasy book club that I host with Rachel from Let Me in the Library, Nicolee from Bonbon Reads, and Jess from Books Past Bedtime. We read fantasy series, and this was the technical, at the time, last book in this series, but as we were reading this, we found out that V. Schwab is actually going to be coming out with a 3rd book. But to get into Vengeful, so I rated this a 4.5 stars. I had such a good time with Vicious that getting back into the world of Vengeful was just amazing. And we started off the book with Marcella, who is just a whole new character, and I know a lot of people don't really like her because they're more focused on the other storylines from the previous book. But for me, the mob wife mentality was really everything I needed to just continue to enjoy this series. I loved Marcella from the first page that she was on. She's just a baddie, and I feel like she's the definition of like what I would be in her situation. So I really related to her. But yeah, I had such a fun time with this. I loved the other character arcs that kind of go throughout this book, and also at the end of this one, kind of the questions that we still have, like what is gonna be happening to these characters, because obviously their story is not ending. Now, if I had not known that there was gonna be a third book, I would be like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I read that and I was like, I immediately went back to chapter 1 of this book.
Right, to be like,
because
what
I was
the
like,
junk?
what did I miss here?
Yeah.
Like, I clearly missed something, because if this is the ending.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
Huh?
And I know that there are novellas, which I actually am going to read, because I do love this world. I think it's very, like, X-Men-esque. But just the way that V.E. wrote these characters, it's, like, such a contrast to, like, something like Addie LaRue. For me, at least. I'm just, like, I love it. We have a found family trope. We've got Ace Rep. And all these characters, like, even if they're, you know, the worst characters ever, they're pretty damn cool. I like them. So anyway, I ended up giving this a 4.5 stars, but definitely if I had been under the impression that this was over at the end of this book, this would not have gotten a 4.5 stars. So like I
still gave it like 4 or 5 stars.
Well, like if the ending was like, man, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if I was like, what the junk? That didn't explain anything. Then I'd be a little mad. But I'm hoping the third book is gonna be a lot of fun. I think
the third book has got to have some gems, because why did she choose not to say it was gonna be a trilogy from the jump? If she knew she wanted to write a third story, like that's almost like what what was the decision that she was like, it's done, and then be like, psych.
Yeah, because we still have literally so much to figure out. Anyway, so I only read this. I didn't finish Mistborn, but I did get a big chunk of Mistborn done, which I'm like doing that vlog. So that'll be out sometime in December. I'm planning on finishing it soon. But yeah, that's my report. Those are the 2 books that I was reading for Big 3.
So I guess I'll keep going Big 3. Big 3, I also read Diary of an Oxygen Thief. I don't know about this one. Like,
this was on the book talk table, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is so funny, because I've never seen this book on book talk, but okay.
Me either. I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It started out kind of like, literally the first line was like, I like to hurt girls, and I was like, you know, as a woman reading it, I was like, interesting. So like the first part of it was kind of interesting. Like, it's definitely somebody's just this. It pretty much follows this anonymous narrator who thinks of himself as like a Holden Caulfield. I think catching right anyway, but he's just going on about how he likes to hurt girls, and you're like, okay, you're like trying to see like, but he's like, don't worry, I get my, you know, things, karma comes right back at me, and you're like, okay, cool, we'll see what happens to you. But like nothing happens to him, like
there's no gratification.
Like his inflated sense of what happened to him, I don't think compares to
the crime,
to what he has done to people.
Right. And
it's not like, so
that sucks.
It was interesting. Like, it was like pretty much a journey through this guy becoming sober.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay. It's short. It's a short read. If you're interested, I say look at the triggers for real.
Triggers.
Yeah, because I was like, what is going on here? But yeah, so I'm giving it a 3.
Wow, that would have been so funny if you had done like a reading vlog and it was like book talk books, you know what I mean, from Barnes and Noble. Like, yeah. LOL. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so 3 stars. Apparently there's a sequel. I don't know how.
Bye.
Yeah.
We're not even entertaining.
I was like, a sequel? How? It's ended.
How did it get published? Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a New York Times bestseller. I thought it was gonna be something else. It's 3 stars. Like, it, I could see what they were trying to do, but I think it was just more of an elevated sense of self this book had. Like, it wasn't.
Damn, I hate those kind of books. I'm not gonna lie.
But it was like fine. I'm glad he became sober. I guess.
Good for him.
I don't know. 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then my other book I did for Big 3, I read a memoir by Emily Ratajkowski called My Body. And I'm not gonna rate memoirs, but this was interesting take on a supermodel's life. That's really the basis of it. Like, you know, she had a lot of people look at her body and kind of, you know, value herself, like, you know, put a value on her and like all the situations she's had to be in because she is a supermodel. And if that is something you're interested in and just like her outlook on life, I say pick it up. A lot of things happened to her. She actually got famous from being in Robin Thicke's music video. So Blurred Lines, you know, the one hit. But
how is it written again?
It's written, I didn't realize this either. Thank you for reminding me. It's written as like essays.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like, because I was also listening to an audio. So when I was, you know, reading it, I thought, oh, you know, this is weird that I kept getting like put out because I thought we were in chronological order, but then it would like be like she would refer to her husband, but then at the time it wasn't her husband, it would be her boyfriend. So I'll be thinking, why would she marry this guy that was so mean to her? But it wasn't her husband, it was someone else she was dating, and then that's when I was realizing
these are diary entries
that these are
out of
like,
order.
Yes, these are essays out of order. So also something to note if you're going to this. But yeah, my body.
I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 books out of the way because I DNF'd 2 books last month. LOL. Yeah, I was in a DNF like mood because
you were
obviously
supposed to be writing. That's
yeah,
why.
I was writing and I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, if I'm not liking it, I'm going to DNF it. So the first one was Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. This follows a plus size influencer who gets invited to kind of like her, like, I want to say like frenemy, like, I don't know, this girl who was her friend but then like only was her friend because she was fat when they were younger, and then like they had a falling out. So this girl is getting married and she invites her to be her maid of honor. And that's kind of like the premise of the book. Like, she's like going to, you know, do this thing. So I DNF'd at 50%, 50, everybody. And I want to say by the 50% mark, we hadn't even gotten to the wedding venue. So like, I don't know what was going on in this book, but like, I don't know if it was trying to be a mystery. I don't know if it was trying to be like a contemporary. I don't know. Also, I understood that the main character was plus sized, but there were a lot of paragraphs of like heavy kind of unloading on the emotional kind of like, I don't want to say trauma, but like, I guess that's what it is. Like the emotional kind of like heartbreak of living as a plus size person. I just was trying to figure out the vibe. I was like, is that the vibe of the book? Because the inside flap literally says someone has been kidnapped and and we're trying to figure out where that person is. So I was trying to like get to that point. So I don't know. But yeah, and then I don't know, I just didn't like it because she literally does all this work to be like, I've come so far as a plus size influencer and I was really hurt, you know, when people made fun of me, da 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 da. And then her like childhood nemesis casually sees her and is like, hey, wanna be my maid of honor? And the girl's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, if you went through all this trauma, you would not say yes. You'd be like, F you, you ruined my life, and because of you, I'm an influencer now, so get out. So anyway, I just didn't like it. I was like, no, there's no way. But that's just like a personal thing because I never would let a bully come back into my life like that. Yeah. So anyway, that's my DNF. And then the next one is The Chosen and the Beautiful, which was actually a fantasy nomination for the Goodreads Awards because I started at the end of the month kind of like reading the nominations just to kind of see. And I DNF this one. And this one is so funny to me. Half of the fantasy noms on the Goodreads list are retellings, just like retellings of Red Riding Hood, Norse mythology. This one happens to be a retelling of The Great Gatsby, and it's hilarious to me because there's not one little bit of freaking fantasy in this book in like the first 30-40% of it. And I'm like, why is this in the fantasy category? Please get the hell out. So anyway, I'm just like, LOL. Also, in the description of the book, this is a little bit of a rant, but obviously this is a DNF, so I feel strongly about it. There is no mention of The Great Gatsby at all, okay? In the description on Goodreads, there is no mention of the GG. So I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. It's like in the 1920s. It's this young woman who's magical and she's like going through, you know, America as a Asian woman. Like this is going to be really cool fantasy, you know? I'm thinking These Violent Delights, but like, you know, more adult. I don't know. And so I'm like reading it and the woman's name is Jordan, which is fine. Normal name. Her best friend's name is Daisy. Daisy's husband's name is Tom. Daisy's cousin's name. Y'all get what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm just like...
You're like, hold on.
I'm like, as a classics reader,
You're like, this seems oddly familiar.
Is
to
a Great Gatsby.
famous
Yes, and then they
novel.
even have Great Gatsby in there. You know what I mean? Like they've got Gatsby. I'm like, who do you think you are? You're literally just doing a retelling. Anyway, obviously by the time this comes out, you guys will know that it did not progress to the next round of voting. So that's why. Not that's why, but my DNF radar was on point last month. So anyway.
Well done.
Yeah, I just like, I think I would have been okay if they didn't say fantasy and if they had told me Great Gatsby, you know what I mean? But that's one of my things. I'm like, you got to let the people know what they're getting into. You know what I mean? Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Definitely don't.
Anyway, so now that my rant is over, what did you enjoy?
Well,
last
I
month?
guess I could go and enjoy. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I could do something. I enjoyed a YA fantasy. I know. Me? What? But Midnight Girls is 5 stars.
Woo, baby!
Midnight
she
Girls
read the
is
Midnight
5
Girls.
stars, y'all. Midnight Girls is 5 stars. I'm telling you. So yeah, I'm giving the Midnight Girls 5 stars, and that is going to be, you'll know all my thoughts in the NetGalley vlog that will be out one day. Because you know me running the channel. Editing,
Not me texting Monique during the month being like, want me to edit anything?
I'm like,
Want me to do the thumbnail? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm like, I have time.
Monique's like, what?
You're like, video.
Thumbnail. Ooh. I'm so glad you like that book. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
5 stars.
Nice.
Y'all, let me just put it out there. Sapphic villainry.
I know, I kind of want to read it. Should we buy it? I feel like we should. Is it that good? Though, shockingly enough, I kind of want to do a video. This is like a pause really quick, but like I kind of want to do a video at the end of the year where I tell you guys what NetGalley books I actually bought, because there are some NetGalley releases that like I have loved and have bought from reading them on NetGalley. So
That's true.
Anyway,
but yeah, I really love Midnight Girls. Yeah, so that will be out in the NetGalley.
cool. I don't think I had a 5-star last month. I think the closest I got was 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. And this was a fun romance. It was like one of my first reads of the month last month. And basically these twins inherit their grandmother's house after she passes. Mm-hmm. And so to get the house kind of up to date and like ready to be sold, they have a contractor come in and kind of like redo the whole house, renovate, blah, blah, blah. The contractor ends up being the like crush and BFF of the twins, like the girl's crush and the guy's current BFF. So there is a little like second chance romance in there. There's definitely a little grumpy sunshine trope. There is like it's like a work romance because like they're both working on the house together. I mean, I had a fun time. Like I had a really fun time with this book. It was just so fun. And also having like the twin girl kind of like hide her relationship from her brother. That was like a fun thing because the brother's like very in your face and like type A personality. So yeah, I had a good time. I read that book so quick. I was like, what a fun romance. What a fun romance. So yeah, if you guys like The Hating Game, I feel like 99% Mine would be a good rec for you.
Interesting.
It was fun.
All
It was
right.
fun. It was my library book.
Maybe I should go to the library today.
Yeah, I just got my new stack, so
I haven't been in a
I
while.
got some bangers.
And then I read If a Shoe Fits. It's a Cinderella retelling. And honestly, this is a Cinderella retelling done in the best way possible because I truly cannot stand the trope of Cinderella. It's something I've never really liked. I don't know. I never connected to Cinderella very much. But this was a good one because this Cinderella retelling, her stepmother is actually supportive and kind. And her stepsisters aren't,
Crazy.
mean. They all are kind of like a family. They are put together after, a shared tragedy. Obviously, you know the Cinderella trope. You know what that tragedy will be. But it was fun up to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book is Fade to Black, y'all. And they really suck you in. It follows the story of this lovely lady who joins a, like, bachelor type show. And she, is like in The Prince.
The Bachelor on the show.
And she's like plus size, so she's not the conventional beauty, but he's already kind of had her eye on her because they met previously somewhere. I want to say the meet cute, but anyway, it's really cute, and I was really sucked in. And then they just turn off the curtains, the lights are off, everything is just shut down, and I'm like, what did they even you just are left to imagine that they even kiss, you know?
Sometimes I almost want books to have like a little sticker on it that says the spice level.
Yeah, like,
you know?
like a Scoville meter for romances.
Right, yeah. Like
these
you know, am I reading a PG book,
Scovilles.
a G book, PG-13,
I would say this
R?
is, honestly, I really think children can read this. Like,
Really?
maybe like, yeah, I think 12, 13,
Oh my
14.
God.
Like, kids, you know, they be picking up books they're supposed to be picking up. I feel like this is a very healthy romance. Like, there's some kissing. Maybe they're curse words. I can't even remember. But yeah, it's a cute romance. 3 stars for me. I recommend, again, for the body positivity. It's honestly a Cinderella retelling done right. And
What about the ending?
the ending was not my favorite. But it was just because, you know, it was fairy tale ending. And sometimes you don't want a fairy tale ending. Sometimes you want to be like...
real life.
Yeah, because it does a weird thing where it, like, jumps in time and you're like, why did that happen? You know
Romances and their freaking time jumps in the epilogue. It's
Which
really
is,
crazy.
it's fine if that's done, but like I want like a significant like life changes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
are y'all moved in together? Are y'all like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Have y'all signed leases? Like, I need to know what's, you know?
I agree.
So if the time jump is done with actual purpose,
Then chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Okay.
so the ending was not my favorite, but 3 stars. Read it if this interests you.
The 3-star that I read last month was the Rosie Project. I've been trying to read more books with autistic main characters, and this was on the list because the main character is supposedly autistic. And I didn't hate this book. I think it was interesting just because it was written by a man and it's a romance. So I think... like traditionally when men write these kind of romantic elements, they are missing a lot of the emotional pieces and kind of like the pieces where the 2 characters connect. And that definitely happened in this book. And I think, you know, kind of in my rant review on Goodreads, you guys can see
Lord.
it's not like all bad because I did like some parts, but I think this author kind of leaned into the, oh, my main character's autistic, so I don't have to really do as much emotional, like, you know, showing in the actual book, right?
Oh,
So
lazy.
yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I thought it was interesting. I liked the character. Like, I liked the main character. I liked his love interest. And I mean, he was great. He was like very analytical, logical, you know, he's a smart guy. But what I did think was also weird is just kind of like he has this, he's a professor and he has this talk about autism and just kind of characteristics of it and how to kind of recognize it in other people. Because he's talking to like younger kids and like their parents essentially. And as he's saying this, it's like he does all of these things that he's talking about. And I thought at the end, right, the character arc was going to be, oh, I'm getting diagnosed, you know? That didn't happen. So then I was like, why put that in the book? You know what I mean? Like, why have him be so, like, the smartest person ever, but, like, can't recognize these things about himself or have any of the people around him kind of help him out in that respect? So when I, like, thought that it was going to be a book about autism, I think the author actually just kind of made it, like, a quirky thing about the guy. He's just like, oh, he's going to be autistic, but, like, we're not going to say he's autistic. And I'm like, So anyway, I gave it a 3 stars. Like, do I think it's the best representation? No, not really. But I enjoyed it for what it is. I think there are more books in this series, but I don't think I'm going to continue it. Like, it literally could just stay where it is. You know what I mean? Like, it left off on a good place. So I'm going to let that one go. We're going to sweep it under the rug and call it a day. Yeah, I'm going to continue on my journey. Do you have another book?
No, that was it. There's some that I didn't completely finish, but I will be doing. That is the How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days and the Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us.
Oh,
also,
yes.
I was reading Uzumaki. That book is wild, y'all. Like, I don't know when I'm going to finish it, but eventually I will. But it's wild, and I'm like, spirals.
That's a thickie.
It is a thick one. But, like, those are ones I'm just, like, currently reading just to update you guys. But
yeah, cool.
But those are all the ones I read.
I have one more.
Cool.
So I kind of told you guys I was reading kind of down the fantasy list for Goodreads just to kind of be like, are they actually good picks or not? Because you know how I am. So I read For the Wolf by Hannah Witton, which has been hyped up. Like, it's the one that looks like Red Riding Hood. She's got a red hood, white cover. I'll put it, you know, right here. You guys can see it. But I was really hyped about this because people have been hyping this book up, and I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars, which isn't bad, right? I tell people on the channel, like, anything like 3 and lower is pretty much like 3 is like lukewarm, anything lower than a 3, don't bother with it, right? But a 3.5 is pretty good. I loved the magic system in this, and this is a Cinderella. And this is a Red Riding Hood retelling. I think it's also a Beauty and the Beast retelling because it had Beauty and the Beast elements. But the magic system was really, really great. I think just kind of the execution of it was a little, like, not as amazing as, like, it could be. I don't know. The romance was, like, kind of cute, you know? It's like, it was basically like lukewarm, except the magic system bumped it up 0.5, right? But yeah, the magic system was really, really cool. One of my favorite parts. But I definitely found myself kind of torn between the POVs because I know what she was doing. She was trying to have, like, the plot elements be explained in the other chapters that didn't focus on kind of like our main character. But I found that, like, every time we went away from the, like, main character and kind of like where the center action was happening, I was losing interest in the plot because I didn't really care about what was happening outside of the woods, right? I don't know, do with that what you will. Hopefully, if you guys have read this book, you like it a lot. Like I said, the magic system is pretty unique, and I did enjoy that. But a quarter for every time I've said magic system in the past 2 minutes. But yeah, that's it. That's all I pretty much have to say about that book.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it, guys. That's the wrap up. See you later. Bye.
Okay, dang.
Just kidding.
That's the way I like to do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it. I think it was pretty successful for me. I would have liked to have finished like 3 more books, but you know, BTS took over my life, and Thanksgiving and actual, like, working. So I feel pretty good.
Yeah, last month was the busiest work month for me.
Yeah, I
was
don't
like, what
understand
the
how. I don't understand.
Because everybody's trying to back everything in the industry before December.
Yeah,
so.
It was just crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was a wild time. Anyway, okay, guys, so that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like for us. Comment down below your favorite book of November, or if you guys are reading any of the kind of, like, nominations or have read for Goodreads. I know at this point, the final round hasn't been announced, like the winners haven't been announced. So if you guys are reading those books and you did happen to like one of these ones that maybe I DNF'd or, like, didn't like, let me know. I would love to know your thoughts. And yeah, hit that notification bell if you want to know when we are putting out videos, and subscribe if you want to support me and Monique on this channel.
Until next time.
Bye.